What is up, YouTube fragrance family and friends? I'm Tommy with Studio Sense. Today what we're going to be talking about is, there we go. The sun is hiding behind the clouds, giving me just a few minutes reprieve, so I'm going to take advantage of it. Today's video is all about date night fun, as Jeremy Fragrance would call them, sexy time fragrances. There's nothing like a little bit of a fragrance to break the ice, your date picking up on that, turning to you and saying, "What do you got on? It smells really good." It gives you an opportunity to break that ice a little bit, maybe even a little bit of a flirtation there. So today we're going to be talking about 10 fragrances that are really inexpensive, very affordable, aka cheap, that you can purchase in any rack store or on any discount website. And they're very, very good quality, and they make fantastic date night fragrances. So when we return, we're going to get into these 10 date night sexy time fragrances that I've curated just for you, that and more, so stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. So we're talking about 10 date night sexy fun fragrances to enhance that interpersonal relationship that you're just now developing with that person that you're going out with. The very first fragrance we're going to be talking about is from the house of Azzaro, very popular scent, Azzaro Wanted by Night. Wanted by Night is a fantastic fragrance. Mandarin orange, it's got cinnamon, frankincense. It's very woodsy. It's got cypress, it's got cedar wood and Virginia cedar. It also has cumin and tobacco absolute, and that's what makes it so dark, rich, and magnetic. It's a very powerful fragrance and will give you just the boost to your confidence that you need, as well as giving you a very sexy scent trail. This 100 ml bottle comes in at under 50 bucks, right around $45, and is very accessible. Azzaro Wanted by Night. Our next scent boasts a relatively simple scent profile. It's not been on the dating scene for a few years. I think it came out in 2018. It's from Calvin Klein. It is Eternity Flame. Eternity Flame is only 30 bucks. But I think I was in a rack store when I first smelled a sample of it, and I was like, I gotta get that. I gotta get it. And I've worn it multiple times since then. I love this fragrance. And if you're looking for something that's got a little bit of heat to it, has some really good projection, very inexpensive, but also got that magnetic allure similar to Wanted by Night. Principally, you're getting pineapple in the open, rosemary in the heart, and labdanum in the base. So it's spicy, sweet, and warm. You look good, feel good, and smell great. Eternity Flame, Calvin Klein. Our next date night scent that we're going to consider came out in, I think, 2014 or 2013, thereabouts. Unfortunately, it has been discontinued. However, it's just one of those not super well-known fragrances, but it's really, really good. You will truly enjoy Kenzo Homme Night. Kenzo Homme Night is only 35 bucks. It's a lightly dusty, lightly powdery. You've got cardamom, coriander, and grapefruit in the top. You've got geranium in the heart and a little bit of vermouth, so you've got a little bit of boozy going on, resting on a base of tonka bean, vetiver, and guaiac wood. Although this fragrance is discontinued, there's a good number of them out there, and I've left a link in the description below, and they are legitimate. This is a wonderful fragrance. If you don't already own it, I highly recommend picking this up. Not only is it magnetic, it's alluring, it's going to be one of those compliment pullers, but in true Kenzo nature, it's very unusual fragrance as well. So you likely don't own something similar to this. This will definitely spark conversation and boost your attractive factor. Kenzo Homme Night. Back in 2016, Alberto Moria and Aurélien Guichard got together and they created a fragrance for Roberto Cavalli called Uomo. And Uomo comes in under the $30 mark. It's about 28 bucks. This sparked a line of fragrances that are all to a T fantastic. I enjoy the entire Uomo line, but this is, to me, and kind of an underdog. It's an underrated gem. Not a lot of people talk about Nate, they talk about Deep Desire, but not a lot of people talk about the flagship fragrance, Uomo. To me, I think this is a great date night fragrance. You've got black violet and saffron in the open, which isn't very often used, a note. Black violet, that is. And you've got, I believe there's honey and lavender in the heart, resting on a base of cedar, patchouli, and tonka bean. Uomo's a bit of a soft, subdued fellow, but the soft, creamy honey along with the tonka bean and that black violet makes this really a stellar fragrance. If you do have other fragrances in the line, but you haven't given Uomo a shot, I highly recommend it. Roberto Cavalli's Uomo. The fragrance house Diesel is known for throwing out a good bit of fragrances that have some heavy sweetness to them. And while that's not always a fantastic thing, it can be a great thing. And in this case, it really is. Their release last year of Diesel Spirit of the Brave Intense. I don't really know how to hold this because it's kind of funky. I actually really like the graphic of the lion. This reminds me a lot of the Japarli's Yes, I Am the King Lion. This is all the characteristics that you want your date night fragrance to have. You've got apple, bergamot, cypress, sage, you've got amber, patchouli, and vanilla, all in the formula of this. And you can pick out each one of those notes too as it dries down. Again, it appears very citrusy and fruity with that very sharp, bright, and sweet apple in the open. Then as it dries down, that vanilla, that patchouli, you get that earthy, creamy sweetness, and that's what lasts and lasts. Spirit of the Brave Intense is the most expensive fragrance in this list just because it came out last year. It's going to be right around 50 bucks for a 75 ml bottle, but trust me, it's worth every penny. Our next fragrance was introduced to me by my best friend in the industry, really my best friend period, and Ashton. We were talking several months ago and he mentioned Pepe Jean's Celebrate for him. He was like, this is a really good gourmand fragrance. Being the fragrance aficionado that I am, I literally went out and bought it that same day. Boy, am I glad that I did. It is a fantastic offering from Pepe Jeans of London. It has all the characteristics that the person that you're dating might enjoy on you. You've got lime, you've got blackcurrant absolute, you've got clary sage, cinnamon, tonka bean, you've got cocoa in there, a little bit of chocolate, some bracing juniper, resting on a base of birch, patchouli, and amberwood. This is, of course, a shaker for mixing drinks, which is appropriate. So if you want to take it with you on your date and you're going to a bar, you might not look so conspicuous having this out. Pepe Jean Celebrate for him performs really well. It's got just enough sweetness, just enough body for what you need to last for a good 6, 7, 8 hours of a fun, enjoyable dating evening. Pepe Jean Celebrate for him is right at 30 bucks. Our next scent I have featured a couple of times on my channel. I haven't actually reviewed it though, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. But in our list today, I just had to include it because it's such a wonderful, magnetic, alluring fragrance for date nights. And there goes an airplane.
In a land where two people come together, one man, one woman, a man travels from another land to meet the woman of his dreams. Does he make it? Will he get there in time? Will he be wearing Trussardi Riflesso?
That's right, Trussardi Riflesso is a great date night fragrance. I've actually mentioned that to me, it kind of takes the place of Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de l'Homme, although La Nuit de l'Homme is a classic fragrance that always will be. You can get a 100 ml bottle of Trussardi Riflesso for right around 35 bucks, and it's worth, again, and I'll say that for every single fragrance in this list, it's worth every penny. In the top, you've got a unique trio of bergamot, pink grapefruit, and green apple, and that green apple is so refreshing in this fragrance. It's one of the handful of fragrances that I find really appealing simply because of that apple note. After that nice fruity opening, you get a floral heart with geranium, you get violet absolute, and lavender, resting on a base of vetiver, tonka bean, and Italian leather. That's right, there's a little bit of leather, and I hope you're not catching that wind in the microphone. I hope you're not catching that wind in the microphone. Again, there's a little bit of Italian leather in here, and that's what makes it such a creamy, smooth scent. But in that dry down, you really can catch a little bit of resins in that leather. That is extremely magnetic. It's almost like the idea of less is more. It sparks the imagination. It creates that intimate bubble where conversation, everything is possible. This is a unique, extremely accessible, inexpensive fragrance. And if you don't own it, you definitely need it in your date night kit. Trussardi Riflesso. A lot of people may not consider our next fragrance a date night fragrance. I think it's got the kind of attitude, the kind of moxie that I want in a date night fragrance, and so I'm going to recommend it to you as such. It is from the house of Coach. It is Coach Platinum. Coach Platinum has become more accessible as time has gone by. It's come down in price. You can get about 2 ounces, which is about a 60 ml for around 30 bucks, which is really nice. And a smaller bottle you can carry with you. Now, while normally this is something that you wear during the cooler months like fall and winter, this is wonderful for any night, doesn't matter the weather, that you're dating someone. Because it's got that really magnetic drive to it, that pull to it, that powderiness about it. It's got black pepper, juniper berry, and pineapple in the open. You've got cashmere, sage, and geranium in its heart, with vanilla, patchouli, sandalwood, and a little leather in its base. Just like Trussardi Riflesso, it's super creamy, super accessible, very sexy. And also something important in a date night fragrance, extremely masculine. Coach Platinum. Our next to last scent is another one that a lot of people may not consider a date night fragrance, but I guarantee you, try it out, you'll probably be surprised. It was originally released as part of a trio of fragrances. It is from the house of Azzaro. It is Azzaro Solarissimo Favignana. As you can see by how much that I've used, I love Favignana. This is a great, sweet, lightly gourmand, but very masculine fragrance. It's got some unique attributes to it. The Chinese, what's called Chinese tune, or a specific kind of cedar, really makes it sharp and woody along with that sweetness. It's got rum absolute in it, so it's got a little bit of boozy going for it. It's got candied lemon, sage, ginger, tobacco, and some amber as well. So it's a well-rounded fragrance. This is one of those extremely attractive, sweet, woody, lightly gourmand fragrances that's good for any occasion, but in particular, the date night. There's Lavanzo, Maritimo, and Favignana as a trio. I recommend having them all, but this one is, out of the three, the only date night fragrance. Azzaro Solarissimo Favignana. Our last affordable, inexpensive date night fragrance that we're going to talk about that will enhance your sexy time is also one that the fragrance community, including Jeremy Fragrance, has recognized as being a very, I don't want to say panty dropper, but most women really, really like this fragrance. And it's one of my favorite Hugo Boss releases in the past few years. It is Hugo Boss Bottled Intense, the Eau de Parfum. It's one of those that's really hard to get your nose out of. I love the way this smells. It's very sharp, it's warm, it's woody, it's a little bit bracing, it's a little different than a lot of fragrances, yet it still carries that kind of warm apple cider, cinnamon, nutmeg that you're used to in Hugo Boss, the original number 6. It does have orange blossom, lemon, bergamot, and apple in the open, cloves, cinnamon, rosewood, and geranium in its heart. You've got cedarwood, olive wood, sandalwood, and vetiver in the base. As you can see, this is a 50 ml bottle, and I've used quite a bit of it. I love this fragrance. It's perfect for any kind of weather. This is a really nice modern scent profile. It makes you smell manly, it makes you smell accessible, alluring, and sexy. Pretty much across the board, women that smell this on men think it smells sexy. So if you're wanting a fragrance that women seem to gravitate towards for men, I would highly recommend Boss Bottled Intense Eau de Parfum. There is an Eau de Toilette version, but it's not quite as good as the Eau de Parfum. If you can't tell, the sun is starting to go down behind the mountains, so I better wrap this up. I hope you've enjoyed talking about these 10 date night fragrances that will enhance your dating scenarios. Each and every one of these I have used and I can recommend. Thanks so much for your time and your attention today. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out this video on my channel and for all of your support. I'm Tommy with Studio Sense, and I'll see you tomorrow.